In this video we are back with Find the Mikus for the latest update. Thank you so much for choosing my video. If you do find it helpful, if you can leave it a like, drop me a comment and of course hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. So I have ordered the video by location to help you out. So we're going to start off in Miku lands. Nice and easy, the first one of unrivalled Miku chibi is just by the spawn island. And we have spotted our next one. So Miku is rowing her boat. I did think when this was added for Volcano it'd be a great place to put a Miku, so I'm really happy they've used this. And that is rowboat. And it's really nice that the devs have sort of scattered about all of the Mikus in the different lands. It kind of lets you play the maps all over again. You know, I'm looking through them again. So it's been a really nice update. We have pearto in the tree. Again, I sort of wish that that image was cut out, because then you could have the pear kind of dangling by itself in a tree, which would make it kind of a bit less obvious. We have sunflower field Miku looking pretty there in all the sunflowers. And I don't know what's happening with my game still, but I still have the glitch where I can see the characters through the map. It does help, but it's weird. We have Subaru. I'm hoping that's how you say it, like the car. Please don't come after me for my pronunciation in the comments. You know I suck at that. Whilst I was playing, I did have these random images keep coming up. I think it may have been the devs having a bit of fun. I don't know. I would have been really annoyed had I been doing laptop and I was in the obby and that came up and ruined it for me. How gutted would you feel at the end on the last platform that came up and you missed it? So we caught the one by the waterfall, so just using the kind of obby, we can drop down for popipo? Is that right? That sounds like peepo gone wrong. Oh, I don't know. And we have inconspicuous pear, but it is pretty conspicuous because it's on a big white background. I would have again loved for them to have cut the image out so it would have been a bit more inconspicuous and hidden a bit more. So using the tree maze, the obby up to the clouds. And we have this lovely little new beach area. And that is kaai yuki. But again, I love that they're dropping things off the back of the map. This is just next door to where we found that temporal diffusion. And of course, I've got to go the hard way, so you don't have to follow me, but you can actually walk through the wall. In my defense, I didn't know it was there, so you can either find the bush and walk through, or you can drop down, whichever way you find easiest. And again, we're going back up. And this is where this one's actually quite well hidden, because if you come up here, you can't actually see it from this angle. But there we get the image through the blue block. And this is the Ice Fairy Miku. And then we've got to go back up again. So I actually spotted this one whilst I was in Snow Tundra and just happened to look across. It was the same thing I did with the temporal one. So sometimes it is worth actually being in one map and turning around and having a look at the others. I mean, if you're high enough like me, I can start to see where the Mikus are. But this is traditional outfit Miki. And I really love that they are using that negative space in the map that would otherwise be empty and unutilised. Oh, and then Mikupede. Oh my god. So I can bet money now. I bet you went to the 2K first. Come on, you can admit it, you did it. I did. This one is more Mikutropolis for me, but I know it is Mikuland still. This really was a last-ditched attempt. I had gone round all of the kind of walls with shift lock on, and this was about the only place I hadn't looked. So cheeky, this one. And what's that gap in the wall? So sneaky! And that is Mikupede. Who on earth thought about putting Miku's head on a centipede? Where did you get that idea from? I don't know. On to Blue Blossom. And nice and easy by the lab entrance we have TETO Kasane. Again, one of those pictures came up. So this is the next temporal diffusion. And what gave it away was the glow. So nice and easy, that is the number 4 one. Onto Volcanic Wasteland. And very similar, we've got another one in the boat. See, I think they should have swapped that. I think the solo one should have been in Mikuland, because you need 45 Mikus to go to the volcano island. So the ones with the more Miku should have been on Volcano. Again, really like that they've utilised the geyser, so this one didn't have anything. I'm sure I touched it that time, but maybe with the shake, I don't know. But that is Flame Princess. And then we've got our next one there, just above the entrance to the cave. Or the cavern, as they call it, I think. I still think they could add one actually kind of as a drop down into the lava. Be quite amusing to seeing people keep ooping themselves trying to find the right lava pit and area to jump through. I'd be mean. But that is Strange Toxic Miki. And then miss this one. This one's right by spawn, so you can see the rowboat there. And if you look up the pillar, this is the gubbed one. And the last one here said climb, so I did think, oh, is it on top of the kind of volcano? And then if you actually look out to the island, you will see one high up in the air, and then you just catch a glimpse of a truss. So we need to go back over to the island over here, the small island. Now I thought that the truss was coming out the top of the tree, so I'm not going mad. It's because it kind of disappears when it's down the bottom of the ground, and I just happened to see, actually no, it's there. So a bit of a faux pas on my part, but yeah, it's just behind the tree. It's here that you actually realise how much space they've got left in Volcano over the lava, that they could put more islands in if they wanted to. Sort of like you could do, I don't know, prehistoric tar pit. So just be careful for the top of the truss. You do not want to fall off and have to climb it all over again. But that is solid snake, Miku. Onto the snow tundra. And again, I'm really happy that they've started to add some more to these different areas. So we have sand, Miku. And ice fairy plush. We have the chibi artic bear, Miku. See again, another picture. This was an area I thought they could have done with another one, and they've added it. So off the bridge, we just need to drop down onto this brand new one. See, it's all these little bits of space that they have. They built it, but it wasn't used. So I'm really happy they've started to do this. It makes the most of the map that you built, doesn't it, really? I still sort of wish every time I come here that there was a little penguin obby that you're jumping on them to go and get one. This is Jhonn the Miku, is that right? Or is it Jhonn? I don't know. You know where we're going. You know we've got to go back into the horror area. Luckily no metal detector this time though. So tucked in the corner, that is Liu, I don't know, something L-I-W Miku. Then literally I'm just doing a circuit. And there we go, we find the next one up here. And that is Angelo. So for this one, okay, you're going to need 4 people, and I'll show you why in a moment. That's a recoil, so I don't know if the devs are forcing users' hands to potentially buy a coil, which I don't really agree with, but I will show you a way to get it. So you're going to need some friends or some very helpful players on the server. So you need one at the bottom for you to jump up, and then one there, and then one on the platform for you to then jump up. So my kids have gone to bed, it was quite late at night, so I'm operating 3 iPads at the same time now, thinking I was very clever at this point and I'll be able to get it using my son and my daughter. Until I realised now that you need someone else. So this is why you need the 3 players, because you need to be able to bring each player up to here. And then finally my husband came home and I was like, let me borrow your phone. And so he ended up being the 4th player for us. So a little bit unfair, but is doable if you can find some players. On to MIKUTROPOLIS. And that is Squid Game. They've got one that's like an oofed player in the back of the picture. On top of the buildings. So this is where we found the harpoon to shoot down the hot air balloons. And really bizarrely, they've grouped 2 Mikus together. Is that a mistake? Because I have never seen 2 Mikus like that, one on top of another. Or is it that you've got the potted plant and then from the potted plant Miku, the peashooter has grown? I don't know, I'm kind of grasping at straws there. Again, this was another kind of last ditch attempt. So this, I was looking for placeholder. It was about the only place I hadn't really checked was the sewers. And again, this is why I say I kind of like that they're dropping them all over the map, because you are having to almost replay it all over again to find some of these. And there on the pipes. It's quite funny, they've literally just put placeholder, which is no picture of a Miku. On to TETO Desert. I keep wanting to say TETO, it's so hard not to. We have Desert Wolf, nice and easy in the middle. And then just on the columns by Dehydrated, we have our next one. So just need to use the cacti here. Onto the, I've called it labs because we are going to go in the old and new. So go into the old lab. I really wish that that was maybe smaller and slotted onto the bookshelf rather than sort of being really big on top. Size isn't something they've really played with in terms of this game to hide them a bit better inside of the map. Might be something to do, I don't know. And then yes, so we do have to go back into the godforsaken maze. I would probably say try this with a friend. I'm not sure if I missed it or if I wasn't tall enough without a coil to get it. And at this point it was like 11 o'clock at night. My husband had just come home from work. He wasn't interested in running around a maze with me. So I am going to have to come back with one of the children. Hopefully they can outrun Leg Miku and I will be able to get this one. This is the problem, because it's not a shielded area. You are at Leg Miku's mercy in where we're going to find Spider Miku in a moment. So you're going to have to be quick. You're going to have to get there. So if you are being chased, you've got very little hope. And here is Spider Miku, but I can't get it. So I do think you need that second person to give you a boost if you don't have the coil, unfortunately. But there we have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.